Hi everyone, it's Kris. Today we're going to talk about a very important subject, and it is personal branding. Your personal style in the workplace significantly influences a perception that people have of you. Moreover, it rolls up into being your personal brand or personal image. Often perceptions that people have of you are very one-sided and heavily affected by one positive or negative characteristic, which people refer to as halo effect. It is one of the biases that people have when forming perceptions of others. You can definitely impact how people perceive you. You need to build your personal brand the same way Coca-Cola and Amazon build their brand. To a large degree, you can be anything you want to be and make people think anything you want them to think about you. You just need to manage your personal brand. It must be of the highest caliber, consistent and credible. And you know what? You can call it your personal style, your personal brand, your image. It doesn't matter, it's all the same thing. The point is that everyone has one and you need to control yours. So what is your personal brand in the workplace? Your personal brand in the workplace is the way you establish and reinforce in the eyes of your colleagues who you are and what you stand for in your professional life. It is a unique combination of your skills, of your experience, the way you dress, the way you look and carry yourself, and your perceived actions. It is the impression other people formed of you. And every action you take either strengthens or weakens your personal brand in the workplace. Number one, assuming that you are starting in a new role, over-invest during the first 6 months. This is the easiest time to build your personal brand. You probably noticed when you start in a new job or you start at university, for the first few weeks, first few months, people form an opinion of you. And that opinion is very, very hard to change. So therefore, the easiest time to build your personal brand is when you encounter people for the first time. If you give everything you have over those first 6 months, you give yourself the best chance to lay a very solid foundation on which to build. Number two, when it comes to personal brand, your appearance counts. It is unfortunate, but people still judge the book by its cover and they judge you based on how attractive and neat you are. At least in the beginning when they just meet you. The way you walk, the way you carry yourself, the way you communicate, all form a part of your personal brand and all determine how people will perceive you. Number three, dress a level higher than the majority people at your level. You need to always dress for your next job. If you're a business analyst at a consulting firm, dress as a senior consultant or a manager. If you are a junior employee at a bank, dress like your manager. Obviously, you need to use common sense here. So for example, let's say you are a business analyst at a consulting firm and you are looking at how managing partners are dressing. If they dress very differently from more junior employees, if you start dressing like them, it will look a little weird. But you can take a look at how people about 2 levels above you dress and copy their dress code. And what does it do for you? Well, it shows that you're taking your career seriously, you're taking your job seriously, and you are somebody who is going to go far in life. It's a promise. It's a promise that you are a very high potential individual and people should pay attention to you. It will make you stand out. Of course, there are exceptions, so pay attention, but again, you can take a look at how people dress about 2 levels above you and try to emulate that dress code. Of course, your other actions such as delivering excellent work, being reliable, being constantly investing in your skills are also very important and also contribute to your overall image of excellence. Let me give you a word of caution though. When you dress better, you will start feeling better. You will start feeling more important. People will start treating you better. So it's important not to forget to treat your other peers with respect and never to look down on them. Because if you do, whatever you gain by dressing better may be lost, or even maybe you will lose a lot more by having a reputation of somebody who is looking down on people. Nobody likes that. So the way I recommend to approach this is, it's just something you do. It makes you feel comfortable to dress well. When people ask you about it, You make a joke, you take it lightly, maybe you mention that it's just something that makes you feel good and it's comfortable for you to wear. So for example, I remember when I was working at the first consulting firm, I used to dress a little bit more formal than other people. And I remember people would make jokes. We had a day when we were spending as a team, and everyone was supposed to be wearing, I think, orange that day. So I was wearing kind of semi-formal pants, and I was wearing very casual shirt with long sleeves that was orange to comply with the requirement. And I remember one lady was joking that Christina's casual dressing is more formal than my formal dressing. And as long as people joke about it and it is just a fun thing, or Christina dresses very formally, but it doesn't mean that she thinks that we are worse than her or she is better. It's just the way she feels comfortable. As long as it is something that you do, but you do not judge other people for dressing a little worse than you, then you are in a good place. Number 4 is obvious but very important. You have to manage and protect your reputation. Your personal brand needs to be aligned with managing and building a reputation of someone who is credible, reliable, capable. You need to develop a reputation of a person where your superiors, when there is trouble, when there is something that's going wrong, they know that they need to go to you. And if they put you on a case, you will get things under control. And you know why? Because those are the people who get promoted. Also remember that you need to protect your reputation. You do not always have an opportunity to explain yourself. So let's imagine a situation where you have a colleague who asks you out for coffee. And you know that this particular colleague likes to buy coffee at a coffee shop and then bring it and sit at a bench next to entrance to your office and chat for about 30 minutes. But think about how it looks. Think about how it looks to your superiors, to your colleagues, to the clients when they walk into the door and they see you sitting there at 10 o'clock in the morning chatting and drinking coffee. People may think that you are slacking. Not everyone will think that, oh, John is such a great networker. He is long-term thinker. He is building for the future. He is networking internally so that when things need to be got done, he will know who to approach. No, some of them will think, John is a slacker. I don't want him on my project. Imagine I have a deadline and he will be sitting there at 10 o'clock in the morning wasting time, chatting with someone, drinking coffee. So in this particular situation, you need to try to meet your colleague in some place where if someone sees you, it will not negatively impact your reputation. Always see yourself from a third-person perspective. Whenever you plan to do something, think about how does it look from other people's perspective. Remember, as I said, you do not always have an opportunity to explain yourself, and you also assume that people will use good judgment when they make decisions about what are you doing and when they are forming perceptions of you. But not every person has good judgment, unfortunately. So sometimes people will perceive something as negative, where in fact you had the best intentions. In one of the recent videos, I mentioned another example from my career, where we had an event outside the office. It was, I think, 2 days event. Everyone went away, stayed there overnight, and it was just playing with your colleagues, team building exercises. I don't even know exactly what they were doing because I could not attend. That morning, something very urgent came up and I had to work on that. I approached the most senior person there and I explained to them that I had to do it. And just to be close to my colleagues, I stayed kind of in the area where people could see me so I could feel better closer to them and they can talk to me if they want to. And what do you think happened? Sometime later, I'm trying to get on a very important project. I generally have very, very strong reputation within the firm. And this person doesn't want me on the project. I never worked with him before. I don't understand why he doesn't want me. So I set up a meeting and I talk to him. And you know what comes up? The reason he didn't want me on the project was because he saw me at the event. And he said, Christina, you are not a team player. Because at the event, when everyone was playing, you were the only one answering emails. So you see, think about it. He's a partner And in his mind, he did not even thought about possibility that maybe there is a reason that I was not spending time having fun with my colleagues, but instead sitting there in front of my computer all day. He's a partner, and he didn't give me the benefit of the doubt, even though I'm sure he had situations like that where he wanted to do something fun, but he had to do the work because he was accountable, because it was important, because sometimes you have to do what you have to do instead of what you want to do. So remember, you're not going to always have an opportunity to explain yourself. So think about how people will interpret your actions, and remember that they will not always give you the benefit of the doubt you deserve. And number 5, I think that one of the elements of your personal brand needs to be that you always keep your word, that you are reliable, that if people give you something and you say, yes, I will get it done, that you will get it done. My mom used to say, get it done, blood from nose. So basically, even if your nose is bleeding, you will get it done. And for the longest time, I was living by those words, even for things that are not important. Over time, I learned not to give so many promises, so I would not need to have bloody nose unnecessarily. But the point is that on important things at work, when you are promising something to people, you need to deliver, and if you cannot deliver, you need to find someone who can deliver. You need to keep the person you promised the work updated, and you need to be accountable for the work getting done well and on time. So let's imagine you have a principal. You are working at a consulting firm, and the principal asks you, hold on, Kris, you are not on a project right now. Your project only starts tomorrow. Can you help me with a proposal? Sure, John. Today, everyone is John in my mind. Anyway, sure, John, I can help you. I'm starting working on the proposal. Then I get an email from managing director saying, Christina, this client needs this by 5 p.m. today. What do? I obviously have to do the second request, because I am the only person who is the best positioned to deliver that work, whereas proposal can be done by anybody. So I go and I find someone who can do the proposal. Then I go to principal and say, John, this came up, this is what I have to do. I found this person who can finish the work. Let's say Jane can finish the work. Is it okay with you if I pass the work to Jane? And John will say, sure, of course. And then you can, with light heart, go and finish your work that managing director requested from you. I hope this was helpful. I hope those were at least helpful reminders. Sometimes we do know things, but we don't do it. As some people say, common sense is not always common practice. So some of it, a lot of it, is probably something you thought about at some point, but do you do those things? And those things are very important. Obviously, there are a lot of other things you can be doing to build your personal brand, but I selected those as they are, I think, very, very effective to start from. So I hope those will be helpful for you. Subscribe to this channel, like the video, press on the bell so you get notifications. And let me know in the comments, what is the biggest challenge you are facing in building your personal brand, and what is the most effective thing you are doing in building your personal brand. Stay focused, stay productive, do good things for the world, and I'm looking forward to see you next time.